So today's kind of an interesting day. I finally get to talk about this. I've had this, just as long as I've had the light, the drywall cutout tool, and the recip. But because of some supply chain thingamajig, I don't know. I was told to hold off on revealing this because they weren't sure at the time when we were going to be able to talk about this. But I've been asked for my review finally, so that means it's about to be released, which means I can finally talk about it. This is a impact driver kit. It is the second most powerful 1/4 inch impact driver that Metabo HPT currently has on the market, or will have on the market. The only one more powerful than this is the 36 volt version of this tool. So, without further ado, here is the 18 volt triple hammer bolt. IP56 rated. We've got 5 different modes here. We've got the 3 lights. Brushless, of course. As you can see, this one's seen some action. We've been using it pretty extensively on the trailer. Got 2 buttons here. We've got a lower power mode. We've got power mode, bolt mode, single bolt mode, and there's also a mode for self-tapping screws. I'll do my best to explain what each mode does in this video, but what you get with the kit, you don't get this. You get I'll throw a little overlay of some B-roll of it here. The 18 volt smart charger, the fan cooled one. You get 2 of these 2 amp hour 18 volt batteries. BSL 1820M. You get this awesome hard case, which has space for your impact, has space for the charger. I typically don't keep the charger in this box. I typically keep a bit set in here. You got space for any of the batteries that Metabo HPT makes. When you get this, another 2 amp hours here, but the 4/8 amp hours also fit. And this is a dual level case. So in the top here, we have storage. Typically what I keep up here is a 3rd battery. It's usually this 1.5 amp hour one, but the other 2 amp hours also fit. You've got a space up here, which is where I usually keep my pencils, markers. I've also got some over here, as well as some random T25 bits. It's got space for a smaller tape measure. You can also fit, if I can get it off the wall, a full-size one in there. Sorry, that was probably really loud. And there's this, well, you can see it's got lots of space. I've got all sorts of random stuff in here. I've got a non-impact driver, which honestly this should probably go in the drill driver / impact kit that I just got, because it's not impact rated. I've got 3 sizes of Bosch nut driver. I've got a Vortex bit holder here. Another non-impact. And these will fit the longer bits. Here's a square number 2. This is what I usually use for my pocket holes. But, yeah. So I've had this for quite a while now, like I said. Real quick, before I get to anything else, let me go grab the manual for this, and I'll try my best to explain what these 3 modes do. One of the modes, the single bolt mode, I'm not entirely sure what it does. So, Okay, so we've got the manual. I don't even think I mentioned the model number for this. It's WH18DC. So at the bottom here, we've got this is our mode switch. This turns the light on and off. Our first mode is the soft mode. We got our RPMs at 0 to 900 minutes, or 0 to 900 RPM. This is for small woodworking screws. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that right now. So I've got two brass plated, I've got a kit floating around here somewhere. It's from Harbor Freight. It's got some small woodworking screws in it. But this is nice for these smaller, delicate, especially little Phillips bits or Phillips screws. And now I can put my, that's backwards. Put my power strip back on the wall. Our second mode is power mode with a max speed of 3,400 RPM. They are describing this for normal work, tightening short screws, affixing plasterboard, etc., heavy load work, tightening long screws, coach screws, bolts, etc. So you hit it one more time, it goes down onto this second one. This is what I use it for, or the mode I use it in about 90% of the time. This is the most similar to any other normal impact without any modes. Our third mode here is bolt mode, 0 to 2,900 RPM. It's for tightening and loosening nuts and bolts. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, what it does is it makes it feel more like a pneumatic impact, where the trigger is almost like an on and off switch. There's not, if I go back to normal power mode, I have a pretty good degree of control. For the RPM range. The bolt mode has a much shorter throw. It may also give you more torque. I can't confirm that. I just don't know. If you press the button again, this will start blinking. Now this is bolt single mode, and its description is delicate work, bolts used for racks, fences, and furniture. I have suspicion when this thing finally senses load, it'll tighten it at a much slower rate so you don't blow through the MDF on your IKEA furniture or whatever. I haven't really used it, but it's there if you want it. And then there's self-tapping screw mode or self-drilling screw mode. Now the way this works, it's got the highest RPM at 3,700 RPM. It starts off slow and then it goes really fast, so I'll demonstrate that. And what that's for is for starting the, I've got some self-drilling lath screws. These self-drilling screws have a little mini drill bit end on them. So it starts out slow so you can make your little divot so the screw doesn't skate off in a random direction, and then it speeds up so the drill can pierce through whatever you're going through, whatever material you're working with. And then when it senses a load, it slows down the tightening torque pretty drastically, and what that's supposed to do is so you don't blow through the threads you've just created for your sheet metal. And I have used this when I had to move my my lock on my roll-up door, and it works very well. I love that mode. But most of the time, I leave it on power mode. These new 2 amp hour and the 4 amp hours they just came out with as well have fuel gauges. I have noticed, I am 99% sure these are 21700 cells, and I'm pretty sure these older ones, the 1.5, 3, 5, and 6 amp hours, 18 volt batteries, I'm pretty sure these are 18650s. Just between the 2 amp hour and the old 1.5 amp hour, there's a significant, it lasts quite a bit longer. These batteries will actually run my 18 volt recip for a pretty considerable length of time, considering the amp hours. And when it was cold in my recip video, this battery wouldn't even run it. So this battery is pretty much relegated to work light usage and light duty stuff like impacts and drills, stuff like that. So it comes with a belt hook, which is reversible in case you're left-handed or you like keeping it on the other side. It comes with a lanyard, which I have taken off. This is the lanyard it came with. I took it off just because I mostly found it annoying, but maybe you'll want to use it. The charger it comes with, the 18 volt fan cooled smart charger, will charge a completely dead 2 amp hour in exactly 30 minutes, or so says the manual. So yeah, I'll do a couple demonstrations. I do eventually want to do a speed comparison. I have 3 separate impacts. I want to do a speed comparison between the 3. But I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to use it for some different things and kind of show it off a little bit. So, one of the important features on this impact, the torque. It could do 1,859 inch-pounds, which is only about 50 less than the 36 volt version of this tool. You give up 50 inch-pounds for the ability to use the much smaller and much cheaper and lighter 18 volt batteries without giving up a whole lot of power. Now, if you use this impact with one of the multi-volt batteries, I very highly suspect you will get those 50 inch-pounds back, and it'll be just as powerful as the 36 volt. It's not a confirmed thing, that's just based on my usage. So, in my opinion, given the choice between the two, especially considering you get such an awesome hard case with it, and 2 batteries and a charger, I would go for this over the 36 volt, honestly, in my opinion. I would love to have the 36 volt version just to compare, and you can never have enough impacts apparently. I have 3 now, but this thing is pretty sweet, and I'm not really too miffed that I don't have a 36 volt because I have this thing. This will has more than enough power to absolutely sink the head on an RSS. This is a RSS, it's a GRK screw. This is a 5/16, and it'll absolutely bury this head in any SPF lumber that you're working with. And probably even the red oak here that I'm about to screw down to the workbench. I have to find the hole where these are supposed to go. It is pretty darn fast. This is a number 12 5 5/8 GRK R4. And the red oak, that's a very hard job. I ain't going nowhere, that's for sure. Alright. Gotta use the Vortex bit holder since it apparently saves bits, because that's a hard job. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the charger real quick and kind of show it off. Alright, so here's our charger. Go ahead and take this off. This will charge both the 18 volt and the multi-volt batteries, the 36 volt batteries. The fan starts pretty much right away. It takes less time for the fan on this to start than the actual multi-volt chargers. There you go. And the fan's also not as loud. This, in my experience, a dead one of these takes about an hour and 15 minutes. And then a dead one of these takes about 2 hours on one of these chargers. So, but these 2 amp hour batteries take half an hour, and then this guy takes about 20-25 minutes. That's assuming it's fully dead. So we've got just a red light here, as opposed to the color bar on this. You can see your color, your blinking indicators, what the light means. If it's just on all the time, it means it's charging. If it's blinking like that, should probably look at the manual for this. If it's blinking relatively slowly, it's charging. If it's blinking really slowly, the battery's too warm. It will fan cool the battery if it's overheated before it charges it. And if it's blinking really fast, it means there's a issue with either the battery or the charger. Something didn't hook up right, or the battery's defective. And yeah, it's a pretty, I can't talk today. It's a pretty light charger. I mean, they all are. The great thing about this battery system is, even though you've got 2 voltages, every single one of these chargers can charge every single one of these batteries. So I can even put this gigantic one on one of the slow chargers, or I can put one of the little 2 amp hours on a fast charger. There's no USB port in the back like there is on, you can see on this one. It's got a USB Type-C on it for charging a phone or whatever. But it is significantly faster than these older type 18 volt chargers. So yeah. Alright, I lied. I said I wasn't going to do a comparison, but I want to do a comparison because that red oak demonstration might put some people off because it seemed to be so slow. So here is another impact I have. I just got this one as well. This is our WH18DEX. This is kind of like a middle of the road, kind of like a bare bones impact. This is a dual hammer, and this is a 4x4, a treated 4x4. I'm going to put one in going sideways. You see that? Kind of. Helps if you actually hold it where it's supposed to be. Alright, let's go ahead and take the same bit and everything, and this is in power mode. It didn't even activate the hammer until the head sunk into the pine. Okay, so let's do end grain. This is the DEX, the less powerful one. Now the 18-volt triple hammer. These are number 9, 3 and an 1/8 GRK R4s, by the way. It's quite a bit faster. Alright, let's throw a T30 on. Do a comparison with a 5/16 3 and an 1/8 RSS. These are structural screws, quite a bit bigger. It kind of buries the head on these. It tries to. Alright, now for the triple hammer. It will absolutely bury the head in that. Let's go ahead and do across the grain now. Go pretty darn far down here. Hopefully avoid some of the holes we just made. So it's fair. This is the DEX, the dual hammer one. All right. And now for the triple hammer. There goes the lighter. So, quite a bit more powerful. And just for fun, we'll throw this on soft mode. Camera doesn't want to focus on it, but I have some number 8 by 1 1/4 inch thin trim screws. Just to show you what this mode's like. This is a more delicate mode. It's much slower than the other mode. Let's see if I can find a drywall screw. This looks like a 3-inch drywall screw, coarse thread. Put it on soft mode to start. So yeah, quite a bit slower. Let's throw it on power mode. Ooh, that's warm. Just as a demonstration. God dang, that's warm. There's bolt mode. Single bolt mode. Yeah, that's what it does. So it senses resistance and it stops it. Interesting. And we'll do self-tapper mode. Now this is going to start slow and go much faster until the thread's engaged, and then it'll go to a much slower speed. That single bolt mode would be awesome for assembly work. There you go, single bolt mode. That screw is very warm. And just for one last demonstration, throw the T25 back on. I have some more number 12 by 5 and 5/8 GRK R4s. Man, that single bolt mode is really cool. I'll have to try that with some pocket hole screws. I bet you it'd be really nice. Here is the DEX, the non-triple hammer one. Just for comparison's sake. All right. Now here's the triple hammer now. Quite a bit faster than the double hammer. And I also want to say quite a bit smoother. I do know Hikoki has a hydraulic, an oil-filled impact. I'd like to get my hands on that as well. I bet you that's really smooth. So yeah, between all the RSSs and big long screws, we've already used a bar. In my experience, one of these little 2 amp hours, at least when we're working on the trailer, generally lasts all day. And I usually have about two bars left. We're driving some harder than normal screws for this. These little, I say little, these are actually pretty darn big screws, but compared to the RSSs and the big R4s, they're nothing. That's mostly what we use the impacts for, is the 3 1/8 and sometimes the 2 1/2. That single bolt mode is so cool. So yeah, there you go. Sweet little impact. I gotta try that single bolt mode for pocket holes. Bet you it's fantastic. So this has been the, this is not a review video per se, although if you want my opinion on it, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's an introduction of our WH18DC. Coming soon. I don't know if Lowe's is going to carry these, but you should be able to get them on places like Acme Tools and Tool Nut, and maybe Menards will carry this, but I don't know. I don't know if Lowe's is going to be able to, or is going to justify clearing a space just for an 18-volt version of the same tool that they have in 36-volt. Or maybe they'll just ditch the 36-volt and start carrying this instead. Nobody knows what Lowe's is going to do. I don't even think Lowe's knows what Lowe's is going to do. But yeah, here's your little introduction. In the next, probably 2-3 weeks, you should start seeing these hit store shelves wherever you find Metabo HPT products and online. Not entirely sure where this kit form is going to land as far as price, but when I do the review, the actual review, hopefully we'll know more by then. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this little video, leave a like or a thumbs up. Maybe hit the subscribe button. There's plenty more videos where this one's come from, and try and start. I cannot talk today. I'll try and start throwing out more of these actual tool focused videos here soon, because I have 28 different Metabo HPT tools and I've only done a review on a couple of them. So I think it's about time we go through some of them. So yeah, have a good one.